Yeah, welcome back to my channel, Nutty68Chevelle. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm just going to share an update on what I'm working on, everyone. So, this is one of my carburetors off my 606 big block Chevy. As you can see, the other carburetor is still on the intake manifold, which I got to take off and clean. But I found something interesting. When I was at the racetrack, when we did 962 at 139 miles an hour, I posted that video earlier on today, so you guys more than welcome to go check it out. But when I was at the racetrack on the last race of the year last year, I was having a bit of issues with number one cylinder, and that's right here on this side. And no matter what I did, the spark plug had black specks on it. And that tells you two things. Either it's got too much timing or not enough fuel. So when we went to the racetrack, the original jet was, I do believe, I think it was an 88. And eventually I got to 93 and it didn't change anything. So that's when I'm just like, well, nothing more we can do about it. So I was still pretty happy that the car did 962. Like, so far, that's my best. So, but I didn't realize this with my carburetors till I got home. But, well, I shouldn't say not till I got home, but probably about a week or so ago, I've noticed it. Because a really good friend of mine came over. He knows a lot about carburetors, a lot more than I do, and I'm always learning. So I'd like to show you guys this. So if you look down the Venturi there, you'll see the nice red shiny little butterfly, and see the other red butterfly on that side, and see this one. And if you look, this one's really, really dirty. And I found out why. There was no fuel going through this. And the reason why there was no fuel going through this, which is number one cylinder, was because this side of the carburetor on basically the metering block was plugged. So I didn't realize that at the time. I should have assumed something was going on the metering block. But as I said, guys, I'm still learning about carburetors and stuff. Like, I learn something new every day, and I learned something new here. So a friend of mine came over and we took apart the actual metering block. All the little screws, there's 4 little minute screws, and we pushed out a lot of, like, there was just a lot of black crud and like a little bit of aluminum. So it might have got past my fuel filter. I don't know how, but yeah, but that was like this at the last race of the year. So, but anyway, that's a learning thing. So I learned something new and we fixed it. So now I'm wanting to take the car for a rip, but I can't because it's wintertime where I am, but that's okay. Anyways, when I pulled the motor out, I took off my flex plate. Sorry for the walking, guys. Don't have my walking cane with me right now. So anyways, you guys look at the flex plate. The holes are all ovaled. Now, if someone, like a couple of my buddies were joking, Scott, you didn't tighten up your torque, or you didn't torque the flex plate bolts. I'm like, yeah, I did. And they were with red Loctite as well, so they wouldn't move. So this flex plate was brand new when I got it. It's just kind of dirty because it's been sitting in my garage. So I checked my torque converter to flex plate. It didn't move. Like, my torque converter did not move on the flex plate. So the flex plate kind of failed. So, but that's okay. I bought a brand new one. So I won't have this issue going on for this year. So another interesting thing that I found out too recently in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, is I got my transmission back from the transmission guy that did it for me. And I'll post the picture right here. This is one of my clutches that came out of my transmission. I should have really clued in when I did the last transmission service of wondering why I don't have any clutch dust in my fluid. Well, that would be why. So it was steel on steel. So when I was at the last race of the year, my clutches were done and I didn't even realize it. Like, with this car, it's really hard for me to tell if the transmission's slipping or not. Like, honestly, it really is, because it's got so much power. And I'm going to add more power yet again with my nitrous oxide system. That's what all this is for. But yeah, so why my car is covered in plastic, because I was painting and I didn't want any paint residue or anything to go onto the car. So, but anyways, so I don't think I've ever shown you guys the inside of my manifold. I was just thinking about that. So these are the runners, and I will be putting in my nitrous oxide system. If you guys look, you see that little plug in the center? That is for my water alcohol system. So that sprays up in the center, is exactly in the center of the manifold, and it works really, really well. And that's how I'm able to go cruising around on the street. So, and what else I'm working on too, I actually polished my manifold. I'm not that great at polishing, to be honest. It's a really time-consuming thing. So, yeah. So I polished it the best I could, hand polishing, because it takes definitely a while to do it. And I repainted my valve covers and did a couple of things and cleaned the whole motor up. So I am putting my nitrous system on this year. So as you can see, I made a bracket for my nitrous oxide system to go right in front of my fuel regulator for the motor side. So this is how it's going to be. I'm just going to turn the camera like this so you guys can see it. So that's how it's going to be. And the fuel lines obviously are going to run the same way as the motor fuel lines do. So I'm just figuring out the whole nitrous lines and stuff, because the way it was before was, I'm just going to go this side. The nitrous oxide orifices or solenoids were really, really high, and they stood out about here. Well, the hood closes about 3/4 of an inch away from this, and then it goes down. Like, these are just underneath basically the center of the cowl. So I have to move my nitrous oxide solenoids, everything in. So they got to move to probably pretty close to where the water alcohol solenoid is. So if you look, sorry for twisting the camera so much, guys, but I'm trying to show you. So they got to be in line with the water alcohol solenoid. So that's where it's going to be, just like so, as you guys can see. If it goes any further past this point right here, this point, it'll hit the hood. So where it was before, it was out there, but I wasn't running a hood. So now I am. So, but that's just something else I got to figure out. So, but anyways, if you guys got any questions, comments, please feel free to leave something in the comment section or like the video. And we'll talk to you guys again.